Hello, we're alive. Hello, Rava, are you working?
Hello, am I
Yeah,
working?
you're
Is
you're
this thing on?
working. Oh, I gotta add you to
You're
the
working.
title
That's
now.
fantastic.
We got a surprise second caster.
Surprise! Lastminute.com caster.
Yeah, so let me tell the competitors that we'll be starting in 60 seconds until start. Oh, don't worry, Timbu. I already went over things with them, and the rules are set. So we got 60 seconds, well, 40 seconds now that the match is set to start in. So Rava, how was your morning, or well, this would be like your afternoon?
Yeah, it's been okay. I'm excited to see these next two matches on Asia server. It's going to be my first time casting on the Asia server, so excited to do that as well.
Yeah. Who do you think's gonna win? Me? Yeah, I win.
I'm gonna win. I'm in the referee role right now. That's me. I'm gonna win. No,
Let's
I mean
go.
after yesterday's spicy kimchi's performance, I think they've got a good chance of taking the win in both games today. But I have seen that Holy now has a third member in their team, Holy and Super Cringe Bunny. So we'll see how
Yeah.
the fight goes.
Yeah, so they had their teammate Shira there in Asia, but I don't believe they have time for US, so they couldn't appear. But they're here now.
That makes sense. And it looks like we've got a couple of solos as well. We've got Vasto from the NA server and Haxa Jack 13 and Skyfrost. I think this is
Yeah,
Skyfrost's first appearance.
it is. They weren't available for the other matches, I don't believe. That or they may not have known, but we'll go ahead and switch the gameplay here. We've got ourselves our first match starting very soon, probably within the next 20 seconds. I'm excited to see how these players perform.
I am too. So the drop line looks like it's going from Crimson Valley down the right-hand
Ooh.
side of the map towards Mitsu Hot Springs. So players can get to CBD and Aimi Castle, so high loot areas. We'll see. We'll see if they jump out on top of each other.
Yeah, because not very many like high loot areas are like immediately accessible. Like we might actually get some people dropping in an unusual place like maybe Unazawa or Mitsu Hot Spring. Already got our first drop going.
Oh, Haxa Jack taking Crimson Valley all by themselves. They're gonna have a great time over there.
They are, and we've got Squad 7 dropping to school. We got the FICO fan club heading to Sunset Spicy Kimchi over going to West Villa, it seems. Yeah, they are Yutong taking West Villa, doing their common strat of having one break off to go to a different location. So we got FICO fan club over on Sunset and Resort. We got Jack over on Crimson Valley. And we have the Lollycat team over on City Hall. And we've got Team Primetime, repped by Vasto Solo right now, over in the unnamed location near Grand Shrine. You know, this location has existed for so long, yet it doesn't have a name. It's just the Grand Shrine
Surprised about
area.
that.
Like, everyone
Grand
knows where
Shrine
this
Village.
is, but nobody. People say it's like over at those buildings. Oh, my SMC crashed. It
Oh,
happened.
no
It
worries.
finally happened. All right. Thankfully, we should. Timbu. Timbu was not locked in, but that's okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and see if this works properly. All
So yeah,
right.
we haven't had any squad fighting during that short moment of downtime, but let's go in and see what the squads are up to. So it does look like we have a squad in Aimi Castle, Don and the Unicorn to ensure that they speed loot, which is an awesome tactic.
See, a bit of a unfortunate circumstance, but we came prepared. We were prepared for this type of moment. The frame rate might be a little varied because this is through a Discord stream. Um, So a little bit complicated, but that's all right. We're currently looking at the uh, Team 4, Lollycat over here on a Yumi Castle. Nobody there. We got Fico, a Fico fan club over at Resort Hotel.
And it looks like they've adopted the same tactic, the Spicy Kimchi squad, by having two pilots go off into one location and having the other go off into a separate location to maximize their looting opportunities.
Yeah.
Now, I wonder if Fico Fan Club have taken on board what Spicy Kimchi do by watching back some of the footage from yesterday's matches and have decided to don this tactic. This is the first time I'm seeing this squad do that.
Yeah, I think Spicy Kimchi might actually have a bit of a meta strat for the open qualifiers because, as people may or may not know, there is a rocket rule that you are not allowed to kill unless you've dropped at a Yumi. There are some specifics for that. If you drop at a Yumi, you are no longer protected by that grace period. So what Spicy Kimchi has elected to do is spread apart their players. They've frequently put one person at Hongya while they've went to school. I believe they did that twice. Another instance is where one of them went to Hongya to rush Ayumi while the others were at West Villa. So it seems like a very common strategy that they employ, and it seems like as these competitors get to know each other and analyze each other, they are more familiar with their strategies.
And it's a
And the
great reconnaissance
rocket
technique.
has launched as well.
It looks like two players from Team Lollycat are engaging a Skylark that's trying to grab the gold drop, but they're not meching up because they don't have mecha yet, but they are dealing quite a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And that Skylark is a member of Team 16. I believe that's Skyfrost. Yeah, it looks like Team Lollycat did engage that fight very well. They've fend off the Skylark, and that gold drop still remains there. It looks like they're just waiting to get mecha now, so they can grab that gold drop from underneath that Skylark's nose. I mean, it does look like Team 6, Fico Fan Club, are now coming in for that gold drop, and they have spotted the Skylark. All three of them now in mechas, so they're donning a Gabriel, Northern Knight, and a Hurricane. The same three mechas that we saw this squad representing themselves in yesterday.
Oh, they got the Snow Mirage. Having to worry about a Snow Mirage. Fico getting a solid, hit from that Snow Mirage.
And Snow Mirage hurts. It's a lot of damage from one shot.
Yeah.
And you feel it. It looks like Fico Fan Club are looking to get themselves into an advantageous position, taking the high ground, trying to get that Northern Knight in position to start their attack, and it looks like the Hurricane is also trying to make a move as well.
Just playing position right now, playing very passive, because I figure this team right now is one of the strongest. When all three of them are around for these matches, they are some of the biggest forces to reckon with, and they keep some of these other players from some of the other players that solos will definitely have a harder time against people like Kimchi and Fico Fan Club, just because of how strong their compositions are and how strong their teamwork is.
Yep.
And the Holy team as well, they tend to have more star plays, solo star plays. They'll try to coordinate as a team, but you'll notice people like Holy will deviate from their teammates and try to do a kind of a solo play, which at times does get hard punished by Fico Fan Club or Spicy Kimchi.
And you saying that is exactly what's just happened on screen now. So the Ranger of the Lollycat squad has been demeched and punished for it by overextending slightly, and Well,
And
it does look like
as you can
Holy
see
has made
here,
quite a
like
good
the
recovery.
the holy situation, like this is exactly what I mean about star players and stuff like that. Like they are making those star plays, like Holy getting basically all of their mechs out, however gets air shot by an Explo, might be in a very dangerous like predicament, but gets onto the unicorn and manages to escape, hiding under that bridge, getting some valuable cover. But yeah, like as you can see, like their ranger pushed in, got hard punished, but Holy was able to capitalize on it in their own way. Ooh. Yeah, Holy managing to capitalize on it, getting almost everyone demeched. Gabriel getting involved. Mira back up in the Gabriel, shooting at the Ranger. Holy trying to put some shots down range, gets hit by an Ion Cannon, has to immediately mech up. Gets shot by the Gabe and the Ion. Fico in a horrible predicament right now. The hunt does miss, but the Ranger almost demeched.
Gabriel's in a very strong position up there, but Holy is playing a fantastic game by using the wall cover there,
Yeah.
making sure he doesn't get shot by that Gabriel, but also moving with
Yeah.
the zone.
Unfortunately misses the hunt because just how precise they're making this angle for themselves in order to protect themselves. It's harder for the Gabriel to hit them, but it's also harder for Holy to hit the Gabriel. As you can see, twice now the hunt has been hit by the roof of the building. Shira gets demeched, getting air shot currently, but nothing happens.
It happens now, I think.
And we've got a
Mira's
third
holding.
party. We've got Vosto of Team Primetime putting some pressure on Holy. Now Holy is kind of sandwiched right now. Does Team Fico Fan Club actually capitalize on this and put pressure? We're yet to see any of that right now. However, Vosto's getting very close to a Skylark, and a player like Holy is very, very strong in close range, so not really the best situation to do that in. But then again, you are a brawler mech, so you have to go in close range.
It does appear to be that Team Lollycat now knows where Vasto's pilot landed, and I think they're going to capitalize on a pilot kill here. Yeah, we've got the DMEC coming in, so we have 2 pilots coming in.
Also
the
trying to
third
play
on the
Ring
way.
Around the Rosie right now, playing a game of Dead by Daylight, vaulting through the window.
Waiting on those last few seconds for his mecha to come up, and
Now he's got his
He's
trump
gonna be
card, he
running out
can
that
make his
building now.
escape. Gets out of there, flamethrower
Just in
almost
time.
cooks him. However, now there's multiple people fighting in the area. Lots of activity over here at Honga.
It's a similar situation that we saw yesterday on the Game 2 in NA, where we had several squads fighting in the zone, whilst Spicy Kimchi squad actually made their way around the zone, put themselves into a great position. So it'd be good to see where they are on the map.
Yeah.
And yeah, as
Wow.
predicted, they are.
They are set up. Oh. Skyfrost might be in a horrible predicament right here. Goes for the DMEC. That might be very risky to go for.
Very risky move to go for, especially when you've got a Gabriel as consistent as Spicy. Okay.
Oh.
Punished for it. Was that our first pilot elimination?
That would be our first pilot elimination, yeah.
Yeah. So the squads here are going to have to work together as a team and ensure that they don't get demeched in these open fields, because there's nowhere to hide, especially when you've got 2 Gabriels out on the field and a Snow Mirage. It's a recipe for disaster getting demeched right now. And Team Fico squad working nicely together there, ensuring that their pilot gets safely to that building. Constant pressure from Lollycat squad. is immense. Their resources must be very low. I
Yeah.
can't imagine that they're going to be prepared to be fighting Spicy Kimchi Squad anytime soon.
Yeah, these squads have been going back and forth for so long, losing all their modules, all their repairs, but Spicy Kimchi has all of the zone control that they could possibly want because they have all the repairs. They have every single repair that they could possibly want.
I wonder who will win the whole enchilada.
Vosto gets taken
Vasto.
out. As you can see, everyone in Team 7 has all of their health. They have all their health. They definitely have all the resources. I mean, we've even got some core modules over here.
It looks like they're going for a drop as well. They're letting everyone else fight, whilst they're just chilling.
And while they may not be doing a lot of damage, they are still killing the occasional player that does appear. Oh! Wow. Lollycat losing 2 people. 2 players eliminated. Although Mira has also been killed. So now Spicy Kimchi might actually be able to win this just because the teams have went back and forth for so long that they can capitalize on this, and they just don't have the resources. The only way that they can really come back from this is if, like, everyone just kind of had this idea of, like, hey, if we don't kill 7 right now, or at least do damage, they're definitely winning this.
Yeah,
Like-
and they are in such a strong position right now. Like Gabriel on
Yeah.
top of the hill, maintaining cover and fire for the Firefox to get a left flank on Fico Fan Club. It's amazing gameplay. It's amazing teamwork.
Oh. Yeah. That's that. So, oh god, my words are just melting right now. I've oh. So Gabriel's one thing that I employ, which has seemingly happened, is one thing I'll do is I'll shoot to miss with the Gabriel, but then like I'll flick away and pretend like I'm shooting somebody else. But then I'll quickly flick back, and this is something you've seen me do, Raba, even firsthand, like you've been on the receiving end, where I'll shoot away
Yep.
and then immediately flick back and shoot you for thinking you could peek. Because a Gabriel doesn't need a full charge in order to be deadly. If they get that headshot, it could be like 150. If you have no armor, it could literally be 200 damage and you're just out. And so I think as Gabriel's employ this, it seems like that's exactly what has happened. That shooting to miss did make an impact here, causing a player to peek out and nearly costing a lot of things. So let's go ahead and look at the map here and see who is currently where. So we got 6 and 4. We got one of them stuck in zone. They are currently... Oh, they got the down. So that's
Yeah,
Caden
Gabriel was
down,
waiting.
keeping them
Now they're
stuck
just
in the
gonna move into
zone.
position.
We've got them moving in on the unnamed buildings yet again. This place has been in the map the entire time, barely getting phased out now. And this is the starting point of Team 7 when it came to them starting their reckoning, is they took control of this general area, took out Vosto and Skyfrost. Oh, they get Ju-chonged and eliminated because of it. That is insane. Shira getting a kill there, utilizing that Ju-chong mantra in order to do damage to the player that was stuck in the zone. However, now it's looking like an impossible duel here. There needs to be some involvement from the other squad, but I don't believe that's going to happen. Do they get air shot here? They get hit once, miss, get hit twice, doesn't get hit a third time. manages to sneak in, but gets hit by rockets, and the Skylark getting eliminated. Getting 3rd place. However, it's good that Jack also getting 4th place there does come in handy.
It looks like Fico
and
is gonna die to zone.
Fico dying to zone, not giving them the kill credit, preventing them from earning even more points, not even giving them the DMAC. So let's go ahead and look at the results here. We've got a lot of interesting performances. Unfortunately, the solos did have a tough time. I believe every solo mostly ran into Kimchi, which is a really tough composition to fight when you are alone. These solo players should be looking for these opportunities to third party, looking for these opportunities to do damage while they're busy. So like, let's say Fico Fan Club is fighting against Spicy Kimchi. That's the perfect time where, like, let's say you're playing Snow Mirage or Raven or even like a mech that's like Hurricane or Dreadwolf. You can shoot your secondaries or your primaries at them for just a moment and then completely disengage from that fight, because your main goal as a solo is to do damage. And if you can steal, here's the thing, you can steal these destructions and it would work in your favor. However, the odds of you doing that are not very good, and there is a high chance that if you start doing that, you will be targeted by those players who got demeched by you. They will recognize that that's the strategy you're going for, and they will prevent you from even being able to do that. And this goes for all the squads that are involved. Like, let's say Fico Fan Club and Spicy Kimchi are fighting, and then suddenly Jack 13 has taken 2 of their kills. They're going to be like, nah, we're going after Jack 13 because they are trying to take what we are working for, and then they will respond accordingly. So that's always a risk you take doing that as well as a solo player.
It'd be good to see how these solo players adapt to the next game. It'll be good to see them actually utilizing what you've just said there, Alice, and see if they adapt to try and deal more damage and get more kills.
Yeah, because those who can't really do that will end up getting eliminated, because it does not favor placing 5th place, 4th place, 3rd place. I mean, if you get 1st place, that's huge bonus points. That's all these placements really are, though, is bonus points. The only way that you get a lot of mileage out of these is if you place 1st, which placing 1st against these teams is not a potential rat strategy. These players oftentimes will have 2 players remaining with mechs, maybe without, but oftentimes there may just be 1 mech, but they'll be working together. So even as a solo, the odds of you winning like a 1v2 are heavily stacked against you, as they have way more resources, way more power of the control of the map. So it will be a lot harder to really approach these situations. Yeah, so it also seems that, like, Jack, who placed 4th, actually Vosto seems to have outperformed them in terms of points. And this is another thing about doing more damage, is despite Vosto being at a lower ranking than Jack, Vosto did get higher points because Vosto had a higher impact in these matches.
We did see Vosto getting stuck into a lot of fights. They were very brave at taking on a squad of 3 and attempting to third party at points, whilst we did see Jack not quite doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it would be very interesting to see how these solos adapt to this game, see if they can overcome what's just happened there and adopt new strategies.
Right, and we're going to go ahead and go on the Be Right Back, because we have some things going on. We've got to allow these players to have a bit of a break, because we are on a bit of a desync from our schedule here, and we do have to try to, I guess, catch up a little bit, get people adjusted. Want to make sure everyone has the chance to know that things are a bit desynced and to get used to that. just because today we did start late, and competitors were informed that things would be late, but want to give them a chance to properly adjust to this. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the BRB screen as well. Everyone can get their water, some snacks maybe, and yeah, we'll be back in probably about 3 or 4 minutes. So we'll see you there. And we are back. We have returned from the void. Hello.
I mean, I'm still drinking. I don't know where.
Why are you
I'm
drinking
kidding.
on air? You're drinking on air?
No, absolutely not.
Jeez. But yeah,
I've got to stay hydrated.
you gotta say what?
Hydrated.
You do have to stay hydrated. Except to me, because water doesn't apply to me. But yeah, very well played match from all those teams in the previous match. We're going to be starting the match here in about 2 minutes. So Raba, what did you notice in that match? What were some things that were more apparent to you?
So it's kind of things that were happening in yesterday's game as well. It's mostly the fighting in the zone and continuous fighting and allowing the dominant squad, Spicy Kimchi Squad, to get into such an advantageous position. We've seen it in all 4 games, and I'm surprised that team's tactics haven't changed. I completely understand that they're probably wanting to continuously fight, boost up the damage numbers, and then go from there. However, I feel like these teams need to start adapting and possibly seeking out the Spicy Kimchi Squads, taking them out, because they're just dominating these games so far.
Yeah. Very, very big problem. And hopefully maybe these solos might be able to adapt more to the current way things are shaping up. Because it is looking a little scary on how this is happening for these solos. They are actually tending to score pretty low, and while that is expected, it just seems like some of them haven't fully adjusted to the fact that damage is important. You need to do as much damage as possible. Try to yoink things if you can, but like I said, if you do that, you do put a target on your back, because people want their points. They don't want you to steal them. So if your points are getting stolen, you're killing the person who stole your points.
Yeah, I'd love to see some of these solo players coming in and getting stuck in a little bit more, getting those damage numbers up, getting more points, stealing
Yeah.
those kills. I mean, that's what they're there for. They need to be taking these mechs and pilot kills, really get under the skin of their opponents and throw them off their game, because it's all mind games out there on that BR field.
Yeah, and also Twitch seems to be harassing me to run an ad break here, so before the match begins, we'll go ahead and run the ad break. Because you know, ads are there. They're a very real thing. So we'll be going into an ad break, but for those who are subscribed, you can keep listening to us. Isn't that exciting?
This is premium content now during the ad breaks.
Yeah, premium content. The ad break is going.
I don't know what premium content there is today.
Yeah, talk about your exciting adventures with your dog.
My exciting adventures with Iroh. Wow. Okay, so let's keep this short and sweet, because I think the ads are probably like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
And we all know that I can talk for England. So Iroh. Most gamers here will probably know Iroh as being my little companion, and we do go literally everywhere. We love to go to the beach, and we often go paddleboarding. I tend to paddleboard a lot on the sea, and he's there in his bright orange vest.
Wow,
Loves it.
your dog has drip too?
He has drip. He's the drippiest cocker spaniel on that beach, let me tell you.
If you have any photos, you'll have to send, and maybe next week we can show everybody.
I actually do have a cheeky little video on the old YouTube. Yeah.
Stay tuned next week to see it. Stay tuned next week. We'll be looking at that during our 3-minute ad break.
Watching Iroh at the beach.
All right, welcome back, everybody. The ads have concluded. Welcome. We're going to go ahead and start very soon here. We're going to be starting in 15 seconds to the competitors. which means waiting an extra minute for us because it does take a minute for the match to initiate. What? Twitch? Wait, hold on. We've got an all right, whatever. We can still start, but we've got a bit of a catastrophic advancement here. Or a new development rather. Twitch, despite having 1 minute of ads running, has ran another 1 minute of ads.
So it's more premium content time, and during this premium content ad.
So if anyone else is lost in the ad void, I'm sorry, that second bit of ads is not even me. It's not me, I swear. But yeah, Iroh at the beach. We'll definitely get a segment set up for next week to show this wonderful moment. Exclusive to the US stream.
Ooh, okay. Exclusive to the US stream during the premium ad break.
Yeah.
Hours.
Wait, you are going to be there, right? Or is it Sunday that you'll be there for? Because we can save it for Sunday.
I think Sunday's probably the better call, considering the state I'm most likely to be in on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll do Sunday. So on Sunday's stream, for the US server, you'll have some goodies. I did finger guns, but nobody could see it. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and switch over to the gameplay now. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here, and let me go ahead and do this as well.
Yeah, so we're going into the final open qualifier game on Asia server now. And the drop zone going from just below Crimson Valley towards that unnamed area above Grand Shrine.
Yeah. Here we got 13 dropping at school. And we've got 7 also dropping nearby.
It looks like the early game tactics are remaining the same for most of the squads, with Team 6 Pico Fan Club dropping down at Sunset Clock, with 2 players going to Sunset Clock and their third off to Resort. Of course, we also have Spicy Kimchi adopting the same tactic as they did the last game, 2 players to West Villa and 1 to School.
Oh, wait.
Right on top of Team 13.
Let's see. We are missing a competitor. I don't know if anyone wants to ask them if they were absent due to a mistake, because we didn't ping in the competitors chat that the match would be beginning in 5 minutes. We are desynced from the schedule, so we might want to see if they respond. If they respond within 2 minutes saying if they just weren't interested, then we'll stop there. But as of right now, we're going to let it play out unless a verdict is reached within the next 2 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and if people are confused, then that's all right.
Now, whilst we do wait for that clarification, coming in, just going to be watching Jack here, who initially landing at school and decided that they did not want the smoke with Spicy Kimchi Squad. They didn't want to hang around, so they've headed back to Crimson Valley, which is a fantastic area to gain a lot of loot. Right now, there are no squads on top of each other, and I think we've got around a minute and a half until the rocket launches, so that grace period should end in that time. But we do have Team 4, which is the Lollycat squad, in the high loot area, Ayumi Castle, and we know that they do enjoy landing at this place or grabbing a unicorn and looting this building and this area.
Yeah,
I wonder if we'll see a similar...
We've got
sorry.
3 teams doing the split strat, actually. 3 whole teams doing the Spicy Kimchi split strat. For anyone that may be just tuning in, our team Spicy Kimchi over here tends to drop in one location while leaving one of their players to scout out another. And it seems like all these other teams are adopting that currently.
It is a fantastic strategy, as discussed earlier. It allows for that little bit more of reconnaissance, obtaining players' positions a lot easier, and splitting the loot a lot better. I mean, 3 players dropping into West Villa is not fantastic in terms of loot. So allowing that split ensures that everybody gets enough loot, enough modules, and the best start to the game that they can.
Yeah. Having this Ayumi Castle range as well as like getting Ayumi all to yourself, it seems like nobody's really taking the risk anymore at Ayumi Castle. And for good reason, so like it is better to just kind of play smarter with your time to be able to get scores in the late game, because like figure if you go into a Yumi Castle, like yeah, you may kill people for better loot, but that means you're doing less damage. You're doing less damage because that's less people in the match, but that could be good for you, but it could also be bad. If you eliminate a very important competitor, then it's a problem. And yeah, what were you about to say?
Sorry, yeah, no, I was just saying it looks like we got some drops on the fields, and Vasto has been very fortunate to be right next to a purple drop.
And gets
so
the worst core module. Those that don't know, core module 2 halves your damage, regardless of if you're aiming at them directly. It's pretty bad. Okay, well maybe not half, but it should be around half, if not half. And we do have the rocket launch, so that means all these players are at risk of being killed. Number 3 trying to beeline it away from squad 4. However, I don't think
squad 4 are very happy about Vasto taking that drop there.
Yeah, I think they really wanted it. And now this Arthur is pushing. This is actually... Oh, they are actually in a horrible predicament right now. Vasto having to just kind of thread the needle between these two right now. Do as much damage as humanly possible.
Also trying to get away from here because he's noticed that they've got a hot steel. Landing in one of these buildings in the unnamed village is not going to be great.
Gabriel, do they get air sniped is the question. Miss 1, miss 2, miss 3. Uh-oh.
Oops, sorry, was that not a hot steel? That was a...
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Did SMC crash? Did it do it for everybody?
I think SMC has potentially...
We're back.
So apologies about that.
Okay, well, I don't... That did not affect the players at all, but it affected the spectators. So the match will continue. That was just a bug on our end that was very, very jarring.
I'm fairly certain NetEase planned that one, so we didn't get to see the final fight there. So Vasto has been eliminated by Team 4, the Lollycat squad. And it appears that they have donned a very different technique because they aren't getting stuck in fighting in the zone. They're trying to get into a decent position and get as many drops and as much loot as possible. I think we're going to see a little bit of a scrap over this gold drop with Team 6 and FICO Fan Club coming in.
They're slowly approaching. This could be a big problem. They're taking a bit of a position here. Oh, takes the shot instantly. Doesn't really wait for their team to just truly capitalize on that Arthur. Instead just goes for the shot instantly, which might actually cost them a lot when you think about it. Jaka's skill coming into play here with Fico of making sure that Fico doesn't take a lot of damage here. Fico otherwise would have had a lot of health to repair, but does not have to worry about that now. Creep gets taken out here.
And both squads still really want this gold drop, and I think we're going to see some more fighting between these two squads again, and that continuous fighting while Spicy Kimchi squad gets into position.
Throwing some shots down range to put some pressure on the Gabriel. I don't know how beneficial this fight is. They may want a C1 for their Gabriel. Holy putting a lot of solid shots down. Holy often playing Skylark, but this time elects to play Gabriel, probably due to the long-range duels that they keep finding themselves in, with little to really have against it. Especially against teams like Spicy Kimchi, where you can't really get involved in ways you normally would.
Looks like Fico Fan Club squad are looking to disengage entirely from this fight whilst also putting down shots. But the constant pressure from Lollycat squad is proving a little bit too much for them. The Northern Knight taking a lot of damage. A lot of repairs going to be needed for Caden there.
So it seems like they've both decided to disengage, but Team 4 is relentless, and Team 7 is actually about to fight Jack over here. Jack might be in a horrible spot. Runs away as quick as possible, turns around, unfortunately canceling most of their boost momentum. Might actually get pursued here, but let's see if Team 7 actually... Team 7 might not actually be interested. We got 4 and 6 fighting yet again. Arthur taking huge damage here. Fico putting some shots. Trying to focus on the Gabriel right now, which is actually a pretty good strategy. Holy DMX before he could get killed. Manually DMX. So his Gabriel can stay in the fight. Here Shiro's trying to put some shots down on range. Both mechs are over here on the left. Mira trying to push some shots down. Unfortunately, it seems like... Mira getting some assistance from Fico on the Gabriel. Gabriel gets taken out. But not... They're down, but not out. And here we have Shira about to get DMEC. Shira gets DMEC'd here. Fico putting some shots down on the pilot. The pilot almost downed. Fico needs one more shot. Pilot gets downed here. Arthur trying to prevent the finish. Does a huge amount of damage, but it's not enough. Fico able to thirst the pilot, getting the pilot eliminated. Tries to get a rocket down, but both these pilots are stuck in here.
I think the best move here for Team 4 would be to completely disengage from this fight and reposition themselves, take a few moments to gather their composure, because they've got a uphill battle to climb now against Spicy Kimchi squad.
Yeah, they are definitely stuck in here. Their only hope is that Squad 7 or 13 gets involved here. Holy, oh my goodness. Holy, almost getting shot. That was terrifying. Was visible for a solid second there, but I don't think Mira was ready to take that shot. I think Mira was holding the angle, but didn't call the, Holy called the bluff, looked at it, immediately stopped peeking, but Mira wasn't ready to punish it. A very scary position to be in right now. Holy, taking some damage, but trying to deal some, which... Another thing to note is this is technically a good thing for them to be able to do some chip damage to these mechas, because it does just add them score. Now we got Squad 7 getting involved here. Fico having to worry about it. Some shots being thrown out. We got Netty's servers crashing in the middle of our game, but that's okay. We'll be all right. Oh, no damage to the people in the building. So it seems like both squads might just be disengaging here. They're like, all right, whatever. We got our situation covered. We can just disengage. They're stuck in that building. If they mech up, they're going to have to worry about Squad 7. We don't want to fight this right now. We want to just recuperate everything, cut our losses, and that's exactly what's going on here. And Squad 4 might be able to capitalize on this, as nobody's really looking in their direction except Team 6 is mildly looking now. But I don't think Team 6 is really going to be focused on taking out Team 4 if Team 7 is just right around the corner.
One player of Team 6 doing a full right rotation, hugging the edge of the zone to try and get... I think they're trying to get on top of the hill there. There's not much in zone, but it would be a great position for them to engage. Especially with a Gabriel. It is their Gabriel trying to get up there, which is huge. I think that's exactly what's going on here. That is exactly what's going on here. Having a perfect angle to get involved
One shot, misses the other, hits the Gabriel. They trade shots. And they trade shots again. Although not 1-to-1 trades, it's still a trade.
Northern Knight is in the midst of all of those mechas.
And this is a really good spot, yeah? What were you saying?
No, just a prime location for that NK to be in. They want that Gabriel. They are hungry for that Gabriel. You can see it.
Perfectly
They know
timed
they can't
pulling
push
out the
back.
shield too. So you play NK, so what would you say about this NK in this position right now, with everything that you know about NK and the things that you do?
It's a great position, but also an extremely difficult position to be in as a Northern Knight, because you can't do much DPS to those mechas. You've got a Skylark and a Firefox still up. Ideally, you want to try and draw attention to you, which is what we saw Caden doing there. It looks like they're going for a reset.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what mecha is going to pull out now.
They've got a Doomlight. They're doing the Doomlight yet
Doomlight.
again. Oh, but the Solo is getting involved now as well. But gets demeched. Do they get... Oh, they're sandwiched between people right now. Hiding below. Team 7 putting some shots down on range. If they have a Juchong, it could be a very big problem. Jack is holding on for dear life right now. Meanwhile, Team 7 is kind of sandwiched here. They might just leave the squad behind them alone because they really want that Solo dead. They really want that Solo dead, and that Solo dead is exactly what they're going to get.
I don't think Team 7 are aware that Team 4 are actually directly behind them, so this could turn out quite badly for Team 7, but they're continuing to rotate and pushing around Fico Fan Club in between the two squads, so...
There is just a fair chance that... like, if Team 4 gets involved here, this would be the perfect time to do it. Currently, right
This
now,
is
they're
gonna
just
be a
playing it a
great
bit
end time.
safe.
Team 4 are looking to pounce. They are looking to pounce.
Oh, that's a huge hunt. Oh, no, it only hit one pilot, or one mech. Turrets are going up. Doomlight's in a very weird spot, but the zone favors both of these squads. Could even argue that it favors 6 more because they have more space to work with. Oh, the perfectly timed D-mech, preventing taking extra damage here. Firefox trying to keep the other team at bay. I believe they're just putting shots down at range to say, hey, we know you're here. You better leave us alone. I don't know if they will.
I don't think they will. I think they're going to push. I think Team Lollycat are going to push up, and they know Team 6 are in quite a tight spot there.
Yeah.
In between the two squads.
It seems like we've got a bit of a triangle going on, but Team 7 is capitalizing off this zone control right now. Everyone having to move up, but Team 6 and 4 are going to have to start fighting. However, they might just disregard each other because they do have huge zone advantage here, and it wouldn't be smart to just start attacking each other when there is just this big wall that you have to worry about of these squads. And that's the problem with Team 7 right now, is that they have put a huge target on their back for being the ones in zone. If Team 4 were in this position, or Team 6 were in this position, they would also be the ones, the primary focus, because it's just right in the zone, and both of these are sandwiching them, and they actually have no clue. Like, I'm sure they know that, oh, they're fighting both of us right now, but it's not clear. They can't fight each other because of how much distance they have apart of each other.
And Fico taking a lot of damage in Hurricane from that Gabriel, but does throw some rockets off before they completely disengage from that fight, which has put Team 7 under a lot of pressure, and Team 4, as I said earlier, were waiting to pounce, and they are now doing so. The Arthur and the... is it a Skylark?
Yeah, Arthur and Skylark. They might be hoping that Team 6 does some damage here, and that looks like that's exactly what Team 6 is doing, is Team 6 is also getting involved. However, Team 7 does have a pilot out in the open, and Mira capitalizes up, taking them down, finishing off the pilot. Trying to get some shots down on the Arthur. Misses the rockets. The Arthur and the Skylark are fighting. These pilots are in a very tough spot right now, but these mechs are doing a big favor for them as they can't really focus on the pilots right now. They have to focus on these mechs, but these mechs are getting taken out.
Yeah, and that's all they're waiting for. They're waiting for the mechs behind them to be taken out. It looks like they're poking the mechs as well.
Oh! Oh my goodness!
Wow.
They were ready. Oh.
They knew it was going to happen.
This is staring death in its face right now. It's looking like Team 6 is going to take this.
Yeah, Team 4 and Team 7 are both in a very tight spot there. Demeched in one building, surrounded by 3 mechas. I think Team 6 are going to take this one.
Holy manages to get in and evade it. Oh, but immediately gets attacked by a hurricane. Mechs up and gets demected, then instantly pit shot. And it looks like Team 7 meching up, giving big damage to these teams here. And there they go. And that'll be it.
Well played. Well played, Team 6. Huge numbers there from all 3 of Team 6. Second place, we do have Spicy Kimchi squad, and third, we have Lollycat squad. Fourth place is Jack, and fifth, Vasto.
Yeah, and when you look at the numbers here as well, Vasto getting extra damage over Jack, which could be a very big factor in the score here. Very large factor. So given these matches, Rob, what did you think? What was some things that you noticed?
The squad's adapted. They very much adapted. I mean, they did revert slightly back to the brawling as we saw end game there with Team Lollycat and Pico Fan Club continuously fighting each other, whilst we saw Spicy Kimchi squad put themselves into the best position that they could. However, both squads, they did learn. And we saw Team 6 disengage, rotate around the zone. That Gabriel taking the top of the hill was a fantastic move.
Yeah.
It provides sight for the rest of the squad. And then the mecha reset from Caden Breaker from Northern Knight to Doomlight proved to be very, very strong.
Doomlight is definitely a pain to deal with. And here's another thing about the Gabriels that play against these Doomlights. I don't think anyone does the patent pending Alice strat, so that means it's not illegal of using the AP energy cannon to penetrate right through that Doomlight shield. For anyone that doesn't know, that shield can be penetrated by Death Knell and Gabriel if you use like AP energy cannon, which is just your little pistol for Gabriel. And I'm not seeing people do that, but you'll notice like when Doomlight does that to me, I will do that because doing a solid 200 damage or even just 140 at certain ranges is enough to make it not worth sitting behind the Doomlight shield.
It also causes that Doomlight to panic because they're getting hurt through their shield and they're panicking.
Definitely something very scary. Yeah.
It would be good to see Nico adapt to that.
And that's another thing about these matches is as you see these people get more familiar with these matchups and even our discussions here about mechas and everything can give these competitors some ideas. So I think it's always a good idea to check out these streams after the fact, maybe rewatch them, see what your team may have done wrong, see maybe look at what other teams are doing. Like you can see how frequent people are going to certain places. Like maybe you'll be like, I'm noticing on the last match, not very many people going to a Yuumi because there's a lot more stakes. There's not a second chance. So maybe we'll try to take a Yuumi this time. Or maybe we are noticing that squads are going in specific areas and you might want to just keep that in mind for your future game plans. Because there is money on the line. There is a prize to win.
So much left to learn as well. And I'm very excited to see the next 2 games that are going to happen later tonight.
Yeah, they're going to happen in how many hours? 6 hours? No, not 6 hours. Wait, would it be 6 hours?
Yeah, around 6 hours and 20 minutes from now,
Yeah.
we're gonna have the two open qualifier games on the NA server.
And I want to say thank you, Rava, for showing up. I know that today it wasn't Rava did show up on a bit of a improvised thing, so thank you, Rava, for showing up.
No worries.
It's very, very helpful and very awesome.
I'm always glad to help.
And now we're going to go ahead and look at these overviews here. We're going to look at match 1, or match 1 of today, which would be match 3 of Asia as a whole, just to see how these teams have performed. So let me go ahead and put that on. It's not available on stream. We did not have the opportunity to set it up for stream yet, but we will talk about it with our neat little voices, our voice boxes, these things that allow us to communicate here. So, looking at this match sheet, Rava, what's the first thing that you're noticing here?
Well, the first thing I'm noticing is that all three of the squads that entered the fully stacked squad, are performing on a similar level. Damage output, the amount of mecha kills, and mecha destructions and pilot kills, they seem to be on par with each other. And the same can be said for the solos that have been entering.
Yeah, so like you'll notice like Skyfrost here didn't get a very good score. And a lot of that's just because they were just in a really horrible position right off the start, going up against one of the highest rated teams here. And I'd say Spicy Kimchi was always like a team that was projected to perform well based off of everything that we've known about them. And them entering in this competition was a very interesting sight to see, because it's like, will they absolutely crush the competition? But one thing that's worth noting is Fico Fan Club and Lollycat are making it difficult for Kimchi to just steamroll anything, because they are all very well-rounded players, and no matter how good you are in a squad, if you're like the best squad ever, even if you have players that, like, if one of your players is really good and then other two are not performing at the same level, you can still outperform a squad full of well-rounded players that are really top players if you play your cards right and if you have the right zone control.
And that zone control has proven to be extremely important in these matches, as we saw in that previous game, and how all three squads at the end there adapted to that zone moving as well.
Yeah. And so it's like, seems in match 1 that there wasn't any damage dealt by Jack, and you can see that reflected by that despite Vosto placing behind Jack in terms of like match placement, getting 5th place, Jack scores a 1.5 in this match, but Vosto gets a 1.8, and that's because Vosto did a 5,184 extra damage to these mechs in these fights. So that does show how much of an impact doing extra damage does, because getting 5th place does not really benefit you much at all in terms of these placements. It's helpful, very, very helpful, but in a situation where like a squad may not place in the top 5 to get that bonus score, you'll still see that they get like just a lot of points. Like even Kimchi, when they didn't place very well in one of their matches, I believe it was match 2, they still got a 4.7, despite, like, let's go ahead and look at match 2 here. So they got 5th place, so they did get some bonus points, but a ton of their rating, or their final score rather, came from doing 29,000 damage in total, nearly 30,000 damage.
And they actually did more damage compared to the squad that actually finished first in that game.
Yeah,
and it's very much reflected.
Yeah, so in Fico Fan Club, like, they got number 1, which gave them a lot of extra score. But then if you look at, like, Lollycat, they have kind of a behemoth of a score here when it comes to, like, damage. They get 18.7 despite getting 2nd because they had more damage. So they actually outplaced Fico Fan Club despite them getting number 1. they outplaced them still by doing just more damage, getting more pilot kills. That's another thing to mention is pilot kills, mecha destructions, those directly add to your score at a flat rate. And so if you're able to get any of those are important. Pilot kills rewarding you more points than mecha destructions, because as you know, pilots can't just recharge. They are dead. They're gone.
Respawn bus. But if we could flick back to match 3, please, Alice. I'd like to point out that Vasto actually did more damage than 2 of the players in Spicy Kimchi Squad, which is notable.
Yeah, that is actually
It's
very notable. And that's another thing. So Spicy Kimchi, they only really ran into the solos. I believe was that the match that they ran into solos mainly? I believe so. Yeah, that is because they ran into Skyfrost. They took out Skyfrost, and they ran into Jack. So they didn't really run into these squads at all. But Vasto did more damage than 2 of their players, not combined, but 2 of their players.
Sorry, all 3 of their players.
Oh yeah, all 3
Vasto
actually.
did.
And that's another thing. If Vasto was able to squeeze out a bit of a better placement, it would have been really good. But another thing you'll notice here is what makes it notable as to why Kimchi has such a high placement of 16 score while Vasto has 1.8. Kimchi killed 4 pilots, destroyed 2 mechs, and they got first place. First place warrants you 10 points by default. And so getting pilot kills is another 100 points. Getting mecha destructions is 50 points. So getting 4 pilot kills here is a solid, like, I believe it would be, it's either 4 points or 0.4 points. But as you can see, yeah, it'd be 0.4 points here for the pilot kills that they got, and those mecha destructions adding an extra 0.5, and then the damage here adding another layer. So for anyone that's curious about the point system, you can always look in the Discord. I'm not super, like, I'm not really breaking down the numbers like 1-to-1 exactly, because it is more of just like a skim going over it as opposed to a in-depth look at our point system. If you want a more in-depth look at it, you can look in the Discord server. It is always available there under the points channel, so if you're ever curious, you can go there and check it out. So yeah, out of all these players, which one do you think made a very strong impact? Even just like looking at the stats, what do you think your personal pick for an MVP that match was? Because, like, for example, this should be the match where Holy went in and got and cleaned up and recovered the team from when they lost their ranger.
Yeah, I would be backing Holy to be MVP of this game. The damage numbers themselves speak huge amounts. 20, just over 20, well, over 24,000 total damage, and coming in with 4 mecha destructions as well. They played a blinder of a game. Brilliant game they played.
Yeah, and it is miles higher than any of the other competitors. Like, it's more than double what Mira got, more than double what Kaden got, more than triple of what Fico got. Actually, it's, yeah, more than triple what Fico got. And Kimchi didn't really get much damage. More than double Kimchi's total damage. And so played very well that game, I would say.
Absolutely.
And
that is reflected in their final score as well.
Yeah.
See.
So is our, let's see, is our match 4 prepared at all? All right, so we got word match 4 is prepared, so we can go ahead and look at match 4. Big numbers already. So we didn't have Skyfrost. It seems Skyfrost did not want to participate in the next match. So that is understandable. And then we got and so one thing I want to mention is one of the reasons why we're willing to give Skyfrost the opportunity is because we are completely off schedule, and it is my job and any just job of ours to ensure that even though we're off schedule, that we do give the competitors more clear communication on this, because we are off schedule. If we are on schedule and they missed it, then that is entirely just a thing that would happen, you know. But because we're off schedule, I believe it is fair that we ensure that everyone had their opportunities. But we're gonna go ahead and look here. So we don't have that player here, but we do still have Vosto and Jack 13, Holy, and everything. So Rava, looking at this, what do you notice?
Well, I noticed that Holy from Lollycat was very consistent, producing almost 24,000 total mecha damage again. Sorry, total damage. But we can see that the adaptation from FICO Fan Club has led to them getting a huge final score, with the team consistently putting out similar numbers.
Yeah, so if we look at FICO Fan Club, in the previous match, FICO Fan Club got 14.8, but in this match, FICO Fan Club got 21.4, and they got 5 pilot kills, 4 mecha destructions. It's pretty solid pilot damage, some pretty super big mecha damage. Did 42,000 with a total of 44,000, and they got first place. And then if you look over here with Spicy Kimchi, they didn't really get many pilot kills. They got 1, and then they got 2 mecha destructions with 39k damage, and their final score is 12.9 because they got second place. And so it is interesting here that how impactful these pilot kills can truly be. So we've also got Jack here, who performed actually a little better than what their previous match result was. They got a 1.6 because they did some extra damage and still placed 4th.
Yeah, I think they took on board their position and score from last game and wanted to do a little bit more this game. And it is reflected in their position and final score. Finishing above Vasto, who Vasto did do more damage than Jack in match 4 on Asia. However, did finish in 5th place.
Yeah, so we've got ourselves interesting, just overall interesting things here. So what do you think? So, oh yeah, that is true. That what I've just been pointed out a neat little fun fact here. So in our placement chart here, this is the first time that placement has actually aligned. If you'll notice in these other matches, they don't align like at all. But here they do align. So that does go to show that placement doesn't mean everything. So yeah, what do you think might happen for like general players? Like, is the overview completed? Okay, so go into the overview here. You've gotten Mecha Dragon and Name Pending. Their name is Name Pending, but I believe it's because we didn't finalize their name, so that would be Skyfrost. So they're both at 0s here, but we really want to look at is just these overall performances here. So in Asia, we got just all their all their performances here. So Rob, what are you noticing? Are you noticing any trends going on right now?
Well, I'm noticing that it's very, very tight at the top between Spicy Kimchi and Fico Fan Club. Only 2.2 points between the two teams.
Mm-hmm. And then for their final scores, which would be their top three, we got a 16.1 versus a 73.2. So also very close on that. And for those who may not know, like if you look at the sheet that's over in the standings channel, total points is just how much you've accrued in that the entire stage. But the final score is what is factored in. It is what determines your eligibility for like the closed qualifiers and the finals and such. So final score, pay attention to that the most.
Yeah, both teams have been very consistent. But yeah, Spicy Kimchi coming out on top at the moment with a score of 73.2, and Fico Fan Club coming in second with 62.1. They're not that far behind. I think Fico Fan Club will need to get another win under their belts, but also get stuck into the mecha fights. That 21.4 score from their previous game made a huge difference and was a massive help to them.
Mm-hmm. And you'll notice here, like, even for like Team Primetime, like Vosto is currently going in solo, but has actually performed better than like overall, like surprisingly, their total score here between these two matches was like if they had their teammate there. Unfortunately, it's not really going to be too big of a deal, but they are still very much so going to the next stage. So we've got really just an interesting set of things here.
It'll be interesting to see how this table changes later this evening when the final two open qualifying matches happen on the US server. So we do have US only squads playing, which is VFK, Gundam 7 Spoons, and Amethystical Duality. They haven't partaken in any of the Asia games, so we'll see how this sheet develops later today.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we get a very interesting performance over here. So I don't believe our standings is updated yet because we generally try to update that later. We'll probably have some more time to update it later today. So yeah, I think everyone performed really well today, and the solos did change up their game a bit. I know that Vosto, when he got this rating on match 2, which was 0.2, that's because his teammate was AFK and we couldn't wait for their teammate. So the match started, and over on match 3, so match 2 they were AFK, and so Vosto was a solo. But on match 3 and 4, you'll see that Vosto being solo really changed their game plan. So we got like compared to 0.2, we got a 0.9 and we got a 1.8.
And they did very well as a solo, and as you say, they had to change their game plan, they had to adapt. They knew they were going into this squad game as a solo player, and I think Vosto adapted very, very well.
Mm-hmm. So overall, I'd say everyone did great. And I'm interested to see how things develop later on in the US side of things.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see the same. I'm excited to see how the Gundam 7 Spoons react to yesterday's games and how Amethyst Duality. I know they were discussing that they were coming up with some new game plans. It's a duo of Hatmik and Ailenas, and they worked well for their first games yesterday. They did a great job. So I'm very excited to see what they're going to bring to the table this evening.
And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up the stream here. We'll be back later today in, is it 5 hours now? It should be 5 hours now. Let me double check here.
I'm not very good at maths. You're testing me right now.
right? So yeah, we'll be back in not 5 hours, in 6 hours. So is it 6? Am I braining
Yeah,
right?
it's six. It's
Okay,
6 hours.
okay.
No, it's 6 hours. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right.
You get to see us math on stream. That's supposed to be paid content.
I use my fingers to count.
But yeah, any closing thoughts you want to say, Rava?
I don't know, I'm just excited to see the NA squads come back and see what they've got and what they've learnt from yesterday.
Yeah. And with that, we'll see you all later today in 6 hours. We'll have a great time. Stream will start more so in like 5 hours and 30-ish minutes. But no, more like 5 hours and 45-ish minutes. So yeah, we'll see you all there. Thank you all for watching, and we can't wait to see how these players have adapted. So goodbye, stream. Goodbye.
Take care. Make sure you eat, drink, get plenty of rest.
I don't know what that is.